Jai Janindra again, and really welcome to the session today. It is the 17th in the series of Level Up. Level Up has been started because we wanted to really have our mentors share their experiences, share real life stories with us. Theory is one thing, but practical experience cannot be replaced. And these real life stories are what sticks with us, helps us, and we really appreciate all the mentors of JPF coming forward and sharing so candidly their experiences and their journeys. These are fantastic opportunities for each one of us to really get to know how and what happened in people's lives, because we just see the end. Okay, somebody's a CFO, somebody's a CEO, somebody has run an enterprise and a great company and sold it for so many crores. But what was the journey like? What happened? How did they reach those pinnacles? And how do we apply that in our lives? Moving on, let me say a real warm welcome to Rajneesh Ji. Rajneesh Ji, what do I say about Rajneesh Ji? Tremendous years of experience, and he really embodies what we at JPF believe in mentorship. He, I think he loves not only doing his job, but he loves mentoring people. He has been talking about these aspects of career development in various institutes, whether it's the IITs, the colleges, different types of forums. He's made numerous presentations, even in the JITO Forum. So currently, of course, when we're looking at the professional, he is part of Reliance Jio, digital and numerous types of experiences, and he is heading as a CFO out there. So I don't want to say in much more because I know there's a nice journey that he's going to take us through with his personal experiences. So with that, again, welcome, and we're really looking forward to learning from your experiences, and not only your personal experiences, but you're leading such a fantastic organization. Huge. The type of experience you've seen other people do. What are the common things? For me, when I look at this whole thing, Rajneesh ji, when I was in my 20s, I did not even know the difference between job and career. It was okay, we've graduated, now take up a job. I mean, salary kahin se milegi, kuch jaake karo, you know. And what is a career concept? I really don't know. It was just something you go and do. Then today, when I see a lot of the youngsters and talk to them, and they say, okay, this is what we want to do. This is what, oh, wow. I'm so impressed with those things. But there are still some people, then the dilemmas that keep coming up in our journey is what to do. Should I take up a job? I mean, the options are so many. Professional organization, or should we go for a startup, or should I be independent? Do I want to deal with the boss? And then once, whatever stage we are in life, as we go ahead, then it becomes, Arey, mera promotion nahi ho raha hai. What is going to happen? Then we go ahead and do various things, and then we just had Achalji also saying, I've already finished so many years, 38 years, now what next? So I'm sure you're going to be dealing with a lot of it. Welcome and looking forward to the session. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sushma ji. Thank you, Vishal Bhai. Thank you, Sanjay ji. And thank you, entire GPF Mentors Group, who have arranged this particular session for me. And let me tell you, Sushma ji, I always love taking sessions in JITO, primarily because, you get different cross section of team members who are joining. Because let's say if you're taking session for IT or IM, then you know the cross section of people and you can mold your presentations accordingly. But here there are surprises, and to deal with surprises is some challenge that I always kind of appreciate and admire. As far as the journey is concerned, Sushma ji, my journey probably would be almost similar to you. I also didn't know anything. And as this entire thing unfolds, I'm going to tell you that, how difficult it was in our generation, and probably in new generation, it has got a different set of difficulties that they have to get over it. But before I start with this, let me just talk about something. Almost in the year 1988 or 89, I had just joined BHEL. And I landed up at New Delhi railway station. And as I landed up at the New Delhi railway station, I took an auto to go to one of my uncle's place who used to stay at Motia Khan. I think from the Gurgaon chapter from Delhi, they would be aware that Motia Khan is just, a few miles away from New Delhi railway station. The auto driver just went to the road, and then he said, "Sir, kahan se lo?" Uh, and I said, "Jahan marzi le lo, jahan se marzi le lo." Now, this guy understood that I do not know about the topography and geography of Delhi. He gave me a very good round of Delhi and then dropped me at Motia Khan. And in those days, in 88, 89, he charged me some 110 rupees. When I reached my uncle's place, I narrated to him, and he laughed his heart out and he said, "Rajneesh, you are fooled." So, so that is where the dilemma is. You are actually at a place where the guy is asking whether you turn right or you turn left. And since you're not aware, and if you leave it on him, he is going to make a fool of you. From 87, 88 to now, for the youngsters that you have who are here as part of this session, now they have got Google, so they do not have to depend on the driver actually has to depend on them, because they can just Google out and reach their destination. So while we are talking of today, we would try, I mean, all of us together, we will try to curate that Googled approach for the next generation team members, and also who are in the mid career, and really see that if we can give them a Googled approach. So here we start. So typically, Sushma ji, what I'll do is I'll just put the presentation, just see, whether
Yes,
we are there.
sure. I love this concept of the Googled approach because it really tells you the first thing when you want to go anywhere, first put your destination, put your location, and then choose your mode, and then it gives you directions. You know? I mean,
So,
just looking at the analogy between the Google and our own careers and our lives.
Sushma ji, is my presentation visible?
Not yet, sir.
So I will not really call it, career mistakes. Let me start with the doubt, and whether the doubt turns into mistake or not is something that we will all of us judge together. So going forward, if you really see the doubts part, the doubts are universal. Especially if you're an ambitious personal, you are going to have doubt. And generally, you remember I was talking of the crossroad. So they often emerge at the crossroad. Now, what is important is, instead of fearing or avoiding them, we must explore with resolve and with intent. Once we have decided, then pursue your decision with conviction and willpower. Generally, आपने देखा होगा, what happens is that when we decide something, even while we are going on that path, we are thinking, क्या मैंने सही किया, क्या मैंने गलत किया. I'm bit, against that. I always believe, एक बार आपने जो decision ले लिया, then you follow that particular decision with conviction and with intent and with willpower, and 99.9% of the time you'll definitely succeed. Now what happens is, now while you're going on the journey, in spite of all the efforts that you put in, you find that something is not working, and you really do not see the light of the day. Now what do you do at that particular point of time? Do you continue with that particular decision and probably go on the wrong path, or probably, just go on with the wrong selection that you've done, or you course correct yourself? I always believe that while we have followed it with intent, willpower, and conviction, But if we see things are not moving or circumstances have changed, course correct. I think it is always better not to get stuck in a choice that no longer serves you. And this brings back to me that clarity is actually. Uh, is my presentation gone?
No, it,
No.
Okay. Clarity isn't the absence of doubt, it's what comes after you explore it honestly. Now, that comes to my 5 stages of doubt and 5 career mistakes or career dilemmas that you may be having. The first career dilemma is choosing the right profession. And to tell you about this, since I promised Sushma ji, I'll also narrate some of my stories. How did I choose my profession? So, by the way, I am a CMA, Cost and Management Accountant. I but before that, I belong to a family which was never in profession. So we had a small trading business. We migrated from a place called Sialkot, now in Pakistan. We landed up in Calcutta because my grandfather had a Bengali friend. We actually started with the training business. It was going well till my grandfather was there, but then he had 5 children, and all 5 of them, as they grew up, they were supposed to manage or be part of the same trading firm. And as one trading firm and 5 families to handle. There was a situation when kharche jada, amdani kam, and things were not going right. That is the time when I took my teenage, and as a teenager, I took my very first decision that I will not get into this particular business or probably become an additional burden on the stretched trading firm that we have got. I will choose a profession. So that is where I took my very, very first decision. And obviously, I was supported by the fact that one of my cousin already had gone into profession and he was doing reasonably right. This is where there was a dilemma, but then I said, I'll go by choosing a profession and not getting into the trading business that all of us had. Now, how did I get into? So I was part of Xavier's College, Calcutta, and but before that, as I passed my class 12 and I got into Xavier's, I was just thinking, what should I do if I wait for my graduation to complete? With graduate only, you will not get a good job, and if I have to take a professional qualification, it would be 3 or 4 years more. That means I have to stretch on for a period of 7 or 8 years till I get a job, and I'm sure my family was not going to wait for that particular time. They would actually force me into getting into some small business or some small job which I didn't want to have. At that point of time, I just came across this particular profession where you could actually do CMA along with my graduation. So my probably mind thought at that particular point of time that why don't I use the same graduation time to also pursue this professional course and complete it by the same age of 21. And then there would not be pressure from the family to get into some kind of small job. And that is the reason I took CMA, because CAs in those days, you were allowed to do it only after you complete your graduation. And secondly, you also had to do, you had to actually join a CA firm and spend a couple of years in that. And probably, at that particular point of time, it would have taken a little more time than really I wanted. I was in a hurry to get into job as early as possible. Now, going back, if you really ask myself whether I'm very happy in doing CMA, I personally believe, and my friends and colleagues also tell me that, sir, why didn't you do CA? Why didn't you do MBA? Why didn't you do IM? I could have done all of that. But what is important is the circumstances of each individual. So you have to take the right decision based on the circumstances that you're put in, and try to make that particular decision successful for all of you. So if you really see in choosing the right profession, The first thing is, don't choose based on marks, parental pressure, or peer movement. Pause and ask, what excites me? I was very clear as I was doing my plus two that accounting is something which excites me. So I was very clear that I will take accountancy as my professional, which I even believe right at that particular point of time that I'm still excited with my career that I've chosen for me. The second is evaluate potential for long term growth. So just see, are you choosing based on long term adaptability? Now, कोई भी कंपनी over the period of last 4 decades, हर किसी को पैसा चाहिए और उस पैसे के लिए उनको अकाउंटेंट की आवश्यकता हमेशा पड़ेगी। 40 साल पहले भी पड़ती थी, 40 साल बाद भी पड़ेगी। सो ये एक ऐसा प्रोफेशन है, I don't think it is going to die forever. So that was something at the back of my mind when I took this particular decision. We also in current scenario will have to ask question like, will AI replace it? Can it evolve with you? In fact, I had one very recent session where it was whether AI can replace the jobs that we are doing. And I would not tell you the conclusion right now. We will do it during the question answer session. But one opportunity that I did not have, which probably you have as of now, is talk to the mentors before jumping in. Unfortunately, I had a very core business family. There was never who had been to profession at that particular point of time. Nobody within our circle could give me any kind of a forward path as to what we should do. But this is something, in my opinion, is very important, that one should talk to mentors before jumping in, try internship, short-term project, conversations, and people in the field. So my conclusion in this would be that doing what you like is freedom, but liking what you do is happiness. One always have to ask himself whether I'm happy with my career. And at any particular point of time, if you think you're not, it is better you choose it. My daughter did the same thing. My elder daughter, right from plus two, she knew that she has to go into biotechnology, and she chose that as a career. She did MTech in biotech, she did MBA in biotech. She is working in a company where she is pursuing her passion of biotechnology. My younger one, probably, I was able to influence her. I said, one of them should go into finance. She took commerce as a profession. She did CA. And after completing CA, the day she completes CA, she said, Dad, I did CA because you wanted me to do it, but this is not the career that I want. I was absolutely, shocked and flabbergasted. That, hey, I mean, after pursuing this career so hard, becoming a CA, this girl is saying that I do not want to have CA as my profession. But I've always believed that in Jainism, there is a concept called Nimit, and we should only be Nimit to our children. We should not control their destination. We should not control their desires. So I said, okay, I mean, if you don't want to pursue C as a career, then what? She said, Dad, I want to go to marketing. From accounting to marketing, that was another kind of a shock with me. I said, but that's a completely different field. She said, but Dad, I've already thought of it. There is a course which is a master's in luxury management from SP Jain. I can actually enroll into that. And I'm sure, I'll be able to do masters in that. She did masters, and she is now very well placed pursuing the career of her choice. She is in sales and marketing of food and beverages, and she is very, very happy. So the point is, even if some way or the other you have not chosen the right one, decide at that particular point of time before it is too late. It is not good to wait for your entire 30 40 years pursuing a wrong career that did not give you happiness. And there's what I mean, doing what you like is freedom, liking what you do is happiness. Now you've chosen the profession. The second dilemma is choosing the right business for the people who are businessmen, or choosing the right company. For me, it was choosing the right company. Now, I had been, very fond of Reliance and Dhirubhai. I've been following Dhirubhai and Reliance ever since my teenage days. But did I join Reliance? The answer is not. At that particular point of time, in 87, when I got offers from many companies, I found that the offer that I got from BHEL was the most lucrative and a very competitive one. So I decided to join BHEL. BHEL was my first company. And probably going forward, if I see, I am not pretty sure that I took the right decision. But then again, after 9 years of being in BHEL, when the liberalization, Manmohan Singh's liberalization set in, and even BHEL was competed with companies like Siemens and ABB, and BHEL was not doing that well. That time, instead of sticking on to a public sector, I decided to take the plunge. And that plunge was in a very, very core, private company, from a public sector, comfortable company, to a very core private sector like Indorama, who were lawyers. They meant only business, and probably at that particular point of time, they were bigger than Reliance. I joined Indorama. And let me tell you, the kind of comment that I used to get at the initial stage, अरे ये तो गवर्नमेंट कंपनी से है, ना तो ये स्पीड प्रोवाइड कर सकता है, ना हमारे पेस में चल सकता है. Or probably somebody would say that he would be having a very bureaucratic approach. I don't think he can actually be able to pull on in a company like Indorama. But did I lose heart? Answer is yes. Emotionally, I was down because I was doing pretty well in BHEL. But then I did not lose heart. Let me tell you that BHEL is very, very system oriented company. In fact, they were the company who got the best balance sheet award at that particular point of time. They were the one who got social balance sheet. They were the one who got inflation accounting. And I always had a belief that my foundation is right, and the kind of training that I've got in BHEL will definitely help a startup like Indorama. I put all the financial systems that I'd learned there, obviously matched the same speed that a private sector likes to have, was ready to take change decisions whenever it comes to. And I always believe in one thing, which all professionals probably can take from me, that you should have an SOP, which is standard operating practices for everything. But while you have SOP, you should also have SOP for deviation, because this would be required in any private company that you operate, or in any business you operate, because every time your business will not be able to run as per your standard operating processes. You would like to have deviation, but try to create an SOP for deviations also. That is what I did. And probably, it took no time for me to kind of change that perception of being a government employee to become an employee of liking. Got some couple of promotions in Indorama. But the next lesson is, when you are comfortable, quit. People normally quit when they are not comfortable. I believe when you're comfortable, you should quit. Because it was also said that if you have to choose between war and peace, what would you choose, and why? And one of the beauty contestant, a female one, she said, I will choose war over peace, because peace brings stagnation. War brings change. If you have to grow in life, never choose peace, because peace will give you satisfaction, but it would also give you stagnation. So how do you choose the right company? The first thing I would say is the culture. Don't fall just for the brand name. Assess the culture. And if you think that the culture is not good, there is no point spoiling your career, even if you get a good paycheck. Whether you're getting the learning environment or you're getting stuck up in, I've seen that when you join big companies, you actually get into a particular function, and then for the next donkey number of years, you are doing the same thing year on year. There is no new learning that is provided to you. Learning environment is something which has been very, very predominant in my thought process. Think long term. Where will I grow faster? Values is something which I've always count. Look for alignment with your values. And I've always believed that if I have to choose between career and conscience, I always choose conscience over my career. And probably at the end of the day, as a byproduct, I've also got a good career. Consider team, leadership, and exposure more than title. So when you have to choose the right company, or you have to choose the right business, or you have to switch over, I think these are some of the things predominantly which I think, which I have chosen, and let's see, it is resonates with you or not. Now you have chosen the right company. The next important point, at least for the professionals, is whether you have chosen the right boss. People often don't leave jobs, they leave managers. And if you really think that there is no point sticking on to a company, even if it is great, sticking on to an organization if it gives you good paycheck. But if you do not get a good boss, and you do not have any kind of independence to actually choose your boss, which normally you will not have, it is better to leave the company, so that you are able to get a growth for yourself. Because a great manager is your career accelerator. They give you visibility, confidence, and sponsorship. So choose people who challenge and support you. The right mentor will develop how you approach success and handle failure. This is one thing which I've learned in my present organization, Jio, that I'm handling as CFO for the last 1 decade. But when Jio was born, we were just 15 or 20 people. And at that particular point of time, my mentor was none other than Mukesh Bhai himself, who actually challenged us to any level. Let's say, when it comes to handling an area, अगर आपने देखा होगा that when you built up towers, you have to get a lot of permissions. When you have to lay fiber on the ground, you have to take a lot of permissions. And he said, I do not want to delegate this activity to anybody. Why you cannot do it? And I said, if you believe I can do it, I will definitely take it. Then he told me real estate. I mean, what is great in real estate that you cannot handle? Then he said, what is great in supply chain management that you cannot handle? And this is how, apart from the core finance role, these challenges continue to come to me. He would challenge me every day while giving new responsibility. He would also, kind of say why those targets have not been met. That means every day when you get up, you had to do better than what you were doing yesterday. But I will tell you, that is the kind of challenge that actually takes the best of you. I've always believed that each one of us have got 10x capacity. We use only x of it. Only when we have got good mentors to push us and also guide us, keep a hand on our shoulder, we can actually raise our potential to 10x. So believe and take a mentor, take a manager, take, even in business, take somebody who can actually push you to do the 10x out of you. Mentorship versus management. A mentor guides your mindset and growth. A manager handles your task. Seek both. So now you have chosen the right profession, or you, whatever mistake that you did, you have corrected. Then the company, then the boss. Now you become a leader. The next part is choosing the right function and team, because you are as good as your team is. Here you have to pick up your strength. This is for the professionals to understand that you can actually choose two. You can either be a specialist or a generalist, a depth of breadth of expertise. For example, I have when I had to choose my functional leader, let's say somebody from indirect taxation, I would take somebody who for the last 25 years has only done service tax and GST now, and done nothing else in his life, so that I get a specialist on indirect tax. For direct tax, I would take a specialist to have done 25 years, only this and nothing else. So these are the specialists. SMEs are also respected. SMEs have a lot to contribute. But then if you want to become a leader, let's say if you want to become a CFO, only direct taxation knowledge would not do. Only GST knowledge would not do. You should have a cross-functional experience You may not be an expert on all of that, but at least you should have a basic sense of what it is coming to you, and then only you become a leader. So if you want to become a specialist, you'll become a direct taxation head. But if you want to become a leader, then you have to have experience of all the cross functions. You should also have manpower skill. You should also have the skill how to manage with external partners. Then only you become a leader. So first you have to pick up your strength and make a choice accordingly. Should you switch functions mid-career? Answer is yes. I just got some question in the beginning that I have been as part of the profession for last 2 decades. Now I have decided to start on my own excellent thought process. I personally believe that these kind of switches always help you in your career, because after you have gained a lot of experience and you think now you can contribute to the society, as a businessman or as a startup, surely do it. Why? Because you are not only making a good money for yourself, you are also helping the society by employing others. One of the thought process which I always had is, I have in an organization, although I've tried to generate as much employment as could, but if I had my own business, if I had my own startup, I would have actually done that in plenty. So this is where probably your decision of the right function and team would bring about. Finally, switch. Every switch should solve for growth, not for escape. I mean, this is something which I told you earlier also, that don't switch because you are uncomfortable. Switch when you're comfortable, when you want to grow. Don't run away. Running away is something which I would never ever recommend in your career, because when you're comfortable and you're choosing a new company, or you're choosing a company for your growth, then you are helping to expand and push your career forward. When you do it in distress, believe me, you are actually spoiling your career. So I am not in favor of any those kind of switches, which is in the form of running away. But I always believe then when the things are ripe, that's the time when you should actually take that plunge, because you are in a better position to take risk. And one of my colleague who has joined today is from risk management. He would know the best, that the best situation to take risk is when you are comfortable. Now take a consistent story, even if the journey is non-linear. For example, my journey probably was a non-linear journey. 9 years in BHEL, then in Indorama, then in Ispat, then in SCZ, 25 years in Reliance. So it was a very non-linear journey. But you should have the clarity of thought where you can actually put your narrative. And sometimes the recruiters also are happy, because they would say that he has got the cross-functional experience and probably he is in a better position to handle challenges. Now, never make a permanent decision based on a temporary emotion is something which I would give you as part of the takeaway. Now that all your doubts, etc., has been given, I think something which comes as a surprise to you is this particular slide. Now, while you choose your titles and targets, never ever forget these three important things: health, family, happiness. जब हम करियर परस्यू करते हैं, जब हम बिजनेस में बुरी तरह एनग्रॉस हो जाते हैं, हम ये तीनों चीजें शायद भूल जाते हैं. मैं भी भूला हूं. I am accepting this particular thing, but never forget your health, because this is going to continue with you. Never forget your family. I can tell you there has been a situation where I had booked ticket to go on a vacation, but suddenly, because I thought that the work at my hand was more important, I've canceled the ticket. I don't know how much agony that would have brought to my family. I think these are some of those things which you should always believe. And ultimately, your happiness part, something that I learned is, we are always supported by she in our lives: mothers, wives, and daughter. We add fourth she to the list of our wellness: good sleep, hydrating yourself, always ensuring that you have a good exercise. Adopt this three SHE in your life. And I also believe that accountants use the word TDS, which is tax deducted at source. For me, TDS is for your mental being. You need a teacher in your life to take care of your health. You need a doctor in your life. पुराने जमाने में फैमिली डॉक्टर्स होते थे जो आपका डीएनए जानते थे. अब जिनोम या डीएनए टेस्टिंग हो गई है, but what could be done by a family doctor would not be done by anybody else, because he knows your DNA, he knows your family history, he knows what treatment would be the best for you. And for your soul, always look for a spiritual guru. So in your life, you should always have a teacher, a doctor, and a spiritual guru for your mind, body, and soul. And just to success is getting what you want, fulfillment in being able to enjoy what you get. बहुत पैसा कमाया, अगर उसके बाद you are bedridden and you are not able to enjoy the wealth that you have got, there is no point in really running and fighting for that wealth. And just to end in 2 minutes, I have something for you. So when in doubt how to make the right decision, choose discomfort now for peace later. uh, Growth hides behind resistance. Most major gains come from after discomfort. Don't let ease deceive you. What feels good now might cost more later. And short-term pain, don't take a wrong path because of that. Your brain will resist. That doesn't mean it is wrong. And I will end with a small poem of mine. With all the career mistake, ultimately take care of yourself. एंड दिस इज वेयर इट गोज. आप पढ़ भी सकते हैं, बट कल होना हो इज द शीर्षक ऑफ द पोएम. चकाचौंध हुई जैसे बिजली गिरी, सफेद वस्त्र में सुंदर आभा लिए धीरे से बोली, मैं हूं जिंदगी, जी भर के जी लिया मुझे. मैं कुछ सक पकाया, थोड़ा घबराया, फिर कहा जीने का समय ही नहीं मिला. जिंदगी मुस्कुराई और बोली, जीवन के 6 शतक बीत गए, अभी तक मुझे जी नहीं पाए. मैं सोचने लगा, बात तो सही है, ऐसा क्यों नहीं कर पाया. पहले पढ़ाई का बोझ, कुछ कर बनने की सोच, फिर नौकरी की होड़, घर की जरूरतें, खर्चे ज्यादा, आमदनी कम, बच्चों की पढ़ाई, नौकरी में तरक्की. बस इसी दौड़ में 6 दशक कब बीत गए पता ही नहीं चला. जिंदगी हंसते हुए बोली, मूर्ख हो और कूप मंडूक भी, मुझे जीने आए थे और मुझे ही भुला दिया. ये नहीं सोचा कि तुम्हारा सिर्फ आज है, कल का पता नहीं. तुम हो ना हो, शायद अभी अभी कूच कर लो, कार दुर्घटना में, बस या रेल दुर्घटना में, या फिर हवाई सफर में, या फिर दिल का दौरा पड़े. कुछ भी हो सकता है, किसे पता. तुम्हारा सिर्फ आज है, कल पता नहीं. तुम हो ना हो. जिम्मेदारी अच्छी बात है, अपनों के लिए फिक्र भी सही है, लेकिन कुछ वक्त, कुछ ध्यान मेरे लिए भी छोड़ते. ये खेत खलिहान किसके लिए, ये घनी वादियां किसके लिए, पहाड़ों का सौंदर्य किसके लिए, ये नदी समुद्र सब तुम्हें बुलाते रहे, तुम अपनी धुन में इन्हें नकारते रहे. रिश्तों की मिठास, दोस्तों की हर्षोल्लास, बच्चों की खिलखिलाहट, सब तुम्हारे लिए संजोए थे, और तुम इन सब को भुला अपने में ही डूबे थे. अब भी समय है, जाग जाओ, कुछ समय मेरे साथ बिताओ. जब आखिरी सांस आएगी तब मेरी याद आएगी, पर मैं नहीं रहूंगी. जीवन का हुनर सीखो, जी भर जिंदगी जी लो, किसे पता कल तुम हो ना हो. थैंक यू वेरी मच. जय जिनेन्द्र एंड गॉड ब्लेस यू.
Wow, superb. And I can say this, I think definitely on behalf of everyone here, everyone, the thumbs up are coming, clapping is coming, sab kuch aa raha hai udhar. Superb, sir, superb, absolutely. So if you would stop sharing that screen and then we can really see you
Yeah.
really well. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you so much. Absolutely fantastic. And so many things have resonated with me as you've been speaking. One, you've taken us through the entire like a journey of life, starting from, this school and the things and the dilemmas. Okay, should I take it because of a pesa or what are the considerations? And then as we go ahead, as we like the, it is, and if you're not in the right place, as you rightly said, 60 years, 50 years, are we really looking at it holistically? Such an important aspect. And I think that was the surprise element as well as the bonus element. Because typically people talk about what to choose the career, and it's very, very strategically oriented only towards, okay, money and get the achievements and titles. CEO बन गए क्या, CFO बन गए क्या, next title, next responsibility. And this, in that, जो आप बोल रहे हो ना दौड़ भाग में, हम ये भूल जाते हैं कि हमको जीना भी है. Superb ending, sir. Superb. Thank you so much. And I think on behalf of everyone, I can say that again.